When you first see the Big Bud 1687-47, it doesn't seem real. Rather, it looks like a set piece from a movie about giant robots than an actual agricultural tractor. But no, it's not a special effect or fantasy. It is the largest tractor in human history, created not for show, but for working in the fields. Its height is over 15 feet, and its length is almost that of 2 regular cars. Each of its shoes, meaning its wheels, is taller than the average adult. Imagine what that's like. To approach it, and it towers over you like an iron skyscraper on wheels. But the craziest thing isn't its size, it's its capabilities. This monster is equipped with an engine of over 1,000 horsepower. It was specifically designed to handle incredible expanses of land. It can hitch a plow weighing tens of thousands of pounds and work non-stop, for long hours. It was created in the late 70s, but it remains an icon to this day. Birthplace, Voikoshstadt, Montana, and the owners are true enthusiasts, not just farmers. They are people obsessed with power and efficiency. Even modern machines look like toys next to it, and this is just the beginning. The most interesting part begins when tractors start challenging not only the land, but also trains. A tractor that towed a train. A coupling of several cars stood on the rails, seemingly immovable. But suddenly, they jerked, and started moving. And it wasn't a locomotive that pushed them forward, but a huge tractor. This scene unfolded before the eyes of dozens of astonished witnesses. Lou I were holding their heads, because what they saw defied common sense. We are talking about the versatile A750. One of the heaviest wheeled tractors ever created in Canada, this beast weighs about 45,000 pounds, and its engine can deliver over 1,000 horsepower. These are not just numbers, this is power proven in action. One of the farmers conducted an experiment to see if his tractor could move a train. Spoiler, it could. And furthermore, how it pulled a coal train, the mass of which exceeded hundreds of tons. Of course, the rails provided minimal rolling resistance, but still, the fact itself speaks volumes. Such a feat is impossible without thoughtful engineering and a true fighter's engine under the hood of the Versatile. It's not just a brand, it's a name backed by an entire philosophy of maximum power, reliability, and endurance. These machines don't break, they break things, especially when it comes to asphalt. The American deep asphalt killer. When such a tractor hits the road, all cars instinctively pull over to the side. It can't be stopped, bypassed, or ignored. The John Deere 9RX is a true icon of American agribusiness, but it looks like an alien from a military future. This beast on 4 tracks looks not like a vehicle, but like a threat. Each track is as wide as a refrigerator, and the entire structure weighs more than 15 tons. It doesn't drive, it presses the ground beneath it. And most importantly, it can be found not only in the fields but also on roads, where it legally moves between plots, scaring unsuspecting drivers. Under the hood is a diesel engine with a power output of around 600 to 700 horsepower, depending on the modification. But it's not just about power, it's about traction. It can easily tow equipment weighing tens of thousands of pounds without losing speed or stability. John Deere is an iconic name that needs no explanation in America. It's like the Harley among tractors. And of course, against the backdrop of such industrial beauty, someone inevitably had to ask, what if we make it even faster? Thus began the era of true racing beasts with turbocharging and nitro. At first glance, an ordinary tractor. The paint is a bit brighter, the engine roar a bit louder. But when it starts, it becomes clear that this is not just a tractor, it's a hellish machine unleashed from the drag strip. Thousands of horsepower, nitromethane in the fuel system, turbines the size of a kitchen cabinet. And all of this for one purpose, to blow the audience's imagination. Welcome to the world of tractor pulling. A discipline where tractors compete to see who can pull a special cart with changing weight the farthest. And to win, you need not just a powerful tractor, but a true monster. Some of these machines are built from scratch, specifically for competitions. They don't have reverse gear, but that's not necessary. The main thing is the start. They roar like airplanes and accelerate with such force that the rear wheels lift off the ground. The audience screams with delight. This is not a farm. This is an adrenaline show. But sometimes these tractors go beyond the tracks. And then something completely insane begins. When the farm turns into an arena. You come to the field expecting to see regular rural work, but instead you hear the roar of engines, smoke, fireworks, and applause. This is not a farmer's festival. This is a real arena for tractor battles. Tractor Wars Iron Pool, a show where machinery is tested to its limits. Here, tractors compete not only in tug-of-war, but also in speed, maneuverability, and sometimes even in towing other vehicles. Some look like transformers with decorative lights, aggressive body kits, and reinforced frames, all to withstand the harshest loads. Participation costs thousands of dollars, and the winner takes the prize and glory. Sometimes it's just a farmer who has worked the land all his life, and sometimes a professional mechanic who has poured his soul into his hellish machine. It's more than just a show here. It's a culture. People come with their families, watch the technicians, and debate modifications. And it's from here that the craziest million-dollar tractors begin their journey. A million-dollar tractor. If someone tells you that a tractor can cost more than a house with a pool in California, don't rush to laugh. Some modern machines indeed break the $1 million mark. And buyers don't even blink. Why? Because such tractors don't just cultivate the land, they change the very essence of farming. One of the striking examples. Fendt 1100 Vario AMT. This tracked behemoth from Germany not only looks like a futuristic tank, but also handles like a supercar. A huge cabin, climate control, panoramic cameras, autopilot system, and satellite positioning. All of this is not fiction, but standard. But the main thing is the engine. Under the hood there are over 600 horsepower, distributed through a system that can adapt to working conditions in real time. This means the tractor decides for itself when it needs more traction and when it needs more efficiency. Everything is automated, just like in modern airplanes. And yes, such luxury costs from $900,000 to $1 million. Why do farmers pay such money? Because this tractor can replace several machines at once, reduce costs, increase yield, and operate 24/7. It pays for itself in a couple of seasons. But despite its price and advancement, even the most advanced equipment looks modest next to machinery born in extreme conditions, where technology was built not for business, but for survival. Born in the USSR. In the Soviet Union, they did not chase after gloss. There, tractors were created not for comfort or innovation, but for one purpose, to battle nature and conquer it. And the most vivid symbol of this philosophy became the Kirovets K700. A giant from Leningrad born in the 60s. This monster was over 26 feet long, weighed nearly 20 tons, and had an engine with 300 horsepower. But it wasn't about the numbers. The main thing was endurance. It could operate in the conditions of the far north, where temperatures dropped below -40 Fahrenheit. It went where tanks got stuck. And it didn't complain. The Kirovets became a legend. It was called the Yellow Beast, and it truly looked like an apocalypse tractor. Wide wheels, a massive hood, a cabin resembling a locomotive's cab. It is still used in Russia, Kazakhstan, Mongolia, and even in some northern regions of Canada. This is a machine that not only plows the land, it lives on it, like a wolf in the tundra. But the technological revolution does not stand still. And if the Kirovets represents the power of the past, then the next hero is the future, where people are no longer needed behind the wheel. A robot in the fields. Autonomous tractors are no longer science fiction, but reality. When you see a huge machine the size of a truck slowly but surely moving across the field without a driver. Inside, you get a strange feeling, as if you've stepped into the future. In fact, that's exactly where we are headed. One of the flagships in this field is the John Deere Autonomous Voice R. It doesn't just follow a predetermined route, it analyzes the soil itself, adjusts the route in real time, and communicates with satellites and weather stations. It has no cabin, only cameras and sensors. It doesn't need rest, doesn't get tired, and doesn't make mistakes. The farmer controls it with a tablet. Literally, sitting at home, you can send the tractor to plow a field 10 miles away from the farm. This saves money, fuel, time, and human resources. And most importantly, this is the beginning of a new era, where machines will operate autonomously, like a swarm of robots. Currently, such machines are expensive, but like everything in technology, they will become more affordable over time. Meanwhile, humanity is just learning to trust these iron helpers. However, on the other side of the world, there is a country where everything is the opposite. A small tractor is operated by a person, but it works so precisely that it seems alive. The secret king of Japan. When you think of Japan, robots, technology, and rice fields come to mind. But you would be surprised at how advanced the technology for working in these fields can be. One such tractor is the Yanmar YT5113. It's like a samurai among machines. Compact, quiet, yet deadly efficient. Its length is only 12 feet, and it looks almost toy-like against the backdrop of American giants. But beneath this modest exterior lies astonishing precision. An automatic navigation system, incredible. Precise GPS, ultra-sensitive suspension, all designed to handle even the narrowest and most complex areas. In Japan, it's not the scale that is valued, but the precision. This tractor can operate in confined spaces, between trees, on slopes, and in high humidity conditions. Moreover, it can connect with other machines into a single network and work as part of an automated complex. This approach offers a completely different perspective on agriculture. Not brute force, but smart precision. However, in Britain, they approached the matter differently. There, they created a machine that is more like a tank than a tractor, and it is used far beyond just agriculture. The British Lord of the Mud. At first glance, an ordinary tractor. But once it hits the field, it starts digging, mixing, drilling, and breaking everything in its path. This is the JCB Fast Tractor 2, the British answer to everything, from farming tasks to rescue operations and military logistics. It is one of the fastest tractors in the world, capable of reaching speeds up to 60 miles per hour. It made it into the Guinness Book of Records and earned the nickname the Farmer's Racing Car. However, it's not just speed that makes it a legend. The fast tractor is used by rescuers, the military, and engineers. It can be found on construction sites, in disaster zones, and in military convoys. And all this is thanks to its unique design, high ground clearance, sturdy frame, and adaptive transmission. It's not just a workhorse, it's a stallion for special tasks. It is often seen in swamps, mountains, and even in areas where regular machinery cannot pass. It's not the most powerful, not the largest, but one of the most versatile. And that makes it indispensable. But what if you take tracks, power, and protection and turn a tractor into a real tank? A tank without a cannon. Sometimes it's hard to tell if it's a tractor or an armored vehicle. One look at the Challenger MT875E and you understand. It's better not to argue with such machinery. It seems designed not for the field but for storming concrete walls. Tracks as wide as a school desk, a body made of thick metal, a cabin resembling an armored dome. Everything suggests that it came from the future, where farms are battle zones. This machine weighs over 40,000 pounds, and its power exceeds 600 horsepower. But the main thing is its traction. Thanks to the tracked drive, the tractor literally digs into the ground. It doesn't slip, it doesn't skid, it presses down on any surface like a steamroller, yet it does so smoothly, almost silently. Interestingly, the Challenger is used not only in agriculture, but also in mining, military logistics, and airfield construction. It is even ordered by the armies of some countries, where it is used as a technical vehicle for towing heavy artillery or transporting engineering equipment. And yes, externally, it really resembles a tank, and in some modifications, it is even equipped with special protective screens. But what really blows your mind are the tractors that have aircraft engines under the hood. An aircraft under the hood. When someone decides to put an aircraft engine in a tractor, it's no longer agriculture, it's engineering madness. Such machines are not mass-produced. They are born in the garages of enthusiasts on the edge of madness and genius. But the fact remains. Tractors with aircraft engines exist, and they roar like a taking-off Boeing. In some tractor pulling competitions, you can see units with turbojet engines. For example, the legendary Shockwave. A tractor equipped with not one, but 3 turbine engines. Their combined power exceeds 20,000 horsepower. Yes, you heard that right. 20,000. It's like an attack helicopter, but on wheels. Of course, you can't take this out into the field. These are show machines. But the interest in them is enormous. After all, each launch is a sound that makes the ground tremble. Flames from the nozzles, the roar and wind from the explosive thrust. And then the tractor races down the track, leaving a trail of fire behind. Such a thing is impossible to use on a real farm. But projects like these inspire engineers. They are the ones paving the way for new technologies. After all, at one time a steam tractor seemed absurd. Ancient Titans. The history of tractors did not begin with diesel and hydraulics. The first machines called tractors were made of cast iron and steel, ran on steam, and weighed more than modern trucks. They were started manually, heating the boilers to several hundred degrees. These were true titans. Slow, heavy, but incredibly powerful. One of the most iconic was the K-Steam engine tractor, created at the end of the 19th century. This behemoth resembled a locomotive without rails. 2 gigantic wheels, a massive boiler, and a roar reminiscent of a steamship. It pulled plows and harrows, plowing the land with such power that it seemed to explode from within. Operating such a tractor was dangerous. One wrong turn of a valve, and you could end up with burns or an explosion. But farmers took the risk because there simply was no alternative. These machines replaced dozens of horses and ushered in a new era. The era of mechanical agriculture. Much has changed since then. Modern tractors are safer, faster, more precise, but those old titans had their own soul. And even today, some enthusiasts restore them and run them at festivals to show where it all began. But tractors are not only about work. Sometimes they participate in races, and it's quite a spectacle. Farmer, Formula 1. If you think a tractor can't be fast, you just haven't seen it. Pulling, tractors and their racing counterparts. Real races are held on specialized tracks where huge machines speed by like cars. It's not just a spectacle, it's a true battle of thunder and steel. Some of these tractors are equipped with engines from race cars or even trucks. The suspension, wheels, brakes, everything is upgraded. The top speed is over 70 miles per hour. And that's with a trailer behind. The races are short but incredibly intense. The roar is so loud that it makes your ears ring even with headphones on. The races take place on muddy tracks across rough terrain, sometimes on specially prepared tracks. This is a sport for true fans. Each tractor has a name, colors, sponsors, and a team. Here, the machinery is like a race car. It is tuned, upgraded, and repaired after each race. And all this is not for the harvest, but for the show. But if you look beyond the horizon, you can see not only the show ahead, but also the technologies that will change everything in the future. On tracks, the tractors of the future are already knocking on the doors of the present. In laboratories and research centers, concepts are being created that resemble Mars rovers more than traditional machines. Without a cabin, without a steering wheel, with artificial intelligence, neural networks, and satellite control. All this is no longer science fiction, but working prototypes. One of the most ambitious projects has become the Case IH autonomous concept vehicle. A driverless tractor capable of independently working the field, analyzing soil conditions, and even making decisions based on weather data. Its body is sleek, streamlined, as if from a movie about the future. The movement is silent, smooth, like that of an electric car. But it's not just about autonomy. Electrification, hydrogen engines, composite materials, yield prediction systems. All of this is part of the arsenal of next-generation tractors. The world is changing, and along with it, farms are changing too. No longer do you need to sit in the cabin for 10 hours. Everything is done from a tablet, and soon by voice command. And if 100 years ago the tractor replaced the horse, now it becomes part of a digital ecosystem. Smart, precise, and autonomous. Thus ends the story that began with a piece of iron, and continues in silicon and electricity.